Last Friday saw the surprise and much anticipated announcement of a Captain Pike series, titled Star Trek Strange New Worlds. Today we're looking at all the details on how the series may play out. Hey everyone, my name is Captain Jack and welcome to Trek Central. We're all excited over the news that Anson Mount is finally returning to our screens as Captain Christopher Pike, on board the ever so beautifully looking USS Enterprise. With him, Ethan Peck is back as Spock, and of course the wonderful Rebecca Romijn is back as number 1. Besides that though, what else do we know about the upcoming series and its direction? A few details have come out, so we rounded them all up for you. Let's hit it. If you're new around here, then make sure to subscribe to Trek Central here on YouTube, to keep up to date with all that Star Trek news. Strange New Worlds is aiming to be optimistic about the future. This comes from Anson Mount himself, as was one of the series' co-creators, Akiva Goldsman. Goldsman has also been a part of the Star Trek Picard and Star Trek Discovery teams in the capacity of a producer. During an interview last week with Variety, Goldsman mentioned that Strange New Worlds will go back to some classic Trek values. He says the following: "We're going to try to harken back to some classical Trek values, to be optimistic and to be more episodic." What is interesting about his statement here is actually this and the next part, where he continues on to say, "Obviously, we will take advantage of the serialized nature of character and story building, but I think our plots will be more close-ended than you've seen in other Discovery or Picard episodes." So far it appears that Strange New Worlds is being more compared to the classical Star Trek series than that of Star Trek Discovery or Star Trek Picard, especially when it comes to the use of serialized storytelling. Now it's cautious not to take these comments out of context, as some online are presuming that the mention of episodic means the whole series will be like that, which I do not think is the case in this series. When it comes to the type of storytelling the producers and writers hope to explore, Goldsman used a reference which long-time Trekkies will understand. He says, "I think one thing I always struggled with as fans is that Kirk is heartbroken at the loss of Edith Keller in The City of the Edge of Forever and has to just be fine next week," Goldsman said. What he's essentially saying here is they want characters to evolve based on the experiences they have within the universe. I personally like the sound of this. As viewers, we also know that Captain Pike has seen his eventual fate, but how does that change his character? He can't be invincible, yet needs to be cautious at the same time. It's certainly an interesting challenge for the writers and team behind Strange New Worlds. Let's talk about the cast of the new show. We know that Anson Mount, Ethan Peck and Rebecca Romijn are returning to the USS Enterprise, but there still needs to be several key people to crew her, so let's explore who they might be. First up, thanks to last year's Star Trek short trek, Ask Not, we know that the character of Cadet Thyra Sidhu was introduced to Captain Pike and went on to join the Enterprise's engineering crew. Actress Amrit Kaur portrayed this outgoing cadet in the short trek and also said that she'd be very much open to returning to the show when we spoke to her earlier in the year. Additionally, we also have the actress Samara Smallwood, who appeared in Star Trek Discovery playing Enterprise crew member Lieutenant Amin. Amin served under Captain Pike as the navigator of the USS Enterprise. Samara has been super active about returning to the show and loves the Star Trek community. Therefore, I think it would be a fantastic opportunity to include her in the show. Now, on the topic of the cast, we also need to look at key characters who would be serving with Captain Pike right now. The first one who comes to mind is the ship's medical officer, in the form of Dr. Phil Boyce. He actually appeared in the original Star Trek pilot, The Cage. Fans have actually suggested that longtime Trek actor, Jeffrey Combs, should portray Dr. Boyce. Combs has actually responded to a fan post stating that he has heard them, but sadly it's not up to him and is instead down to the studio, though there might be a slim chance. There are of course plenty of other actors and actresses who should return to fill roles on the bridge of the Enterprise. As we saw in the end of Star Trek Discovery Season 2, Captain Pike already had a very talented and fantastic looking bridge crew, so he just needs a few more key people to finish his roster. Speaking about Pike once again, it'll be interesting to know where Strange New Worlds lands in terms of his timeline. We know that Star Trek Discovery Season 2 takes place in the year 2257, where Pike temporarily takes command of the USS Discovery. He returns to the USS Enterprise in the same year, and according to canon, does command the iconic starship for several more years. The exact date he does actually leave the Enterprise is unknown, but we do know that he's eventually promoted to fleet captain and passes the torch to James T. Kirk, his successor of the iconic Starship Enterprise. Strange New Worlds could take place where Discovery Season 2 ends off, with Captain Pike and his crew going on to a brand new adventure. As mentioned before, following that ending, Pike still has several years of missions aboard the Enterprise left. It's a great idea for CBS to want to do 7 seasons, which I would love personally. Another thing, this would essentially connect Discovery, then Strange New Worlds, and the original Star Trek series all together in a nice neat order. You essentially could start with Discovery and watch all the way to the new series, or even start with Enterprise. While the series may be a prequel, they have a ton of space to play around with, as long as they don't affect what is coming up in James T. Kirk's time frame. Honestly, I am super excited to see what adventures they can come up with in Pike's timeline. As they said themselves, this series is aiming to bring an optimistic outlook for the future. If that means we're getting back to good old-fashioned exploration, I'm all for it. While we wait to hear more information about a Captain Pike series, why don't you let us know what you think via the comment section below. Coming up on Trek Central over the next month or so, we'll be exploring some of Captain Pike's iconic stories, throughout the 50 plus years of Star Trek's legacy. While he may not have had much screen time, if his announcement has shown anything, he's certainly a fan favourite. Alright everyone, that's it for all our news and details on Star Trek Strange New Worlds for today. If you'd like to keep up to date on all things Star Trek news, lore and more, then make sure to hit that subscribe button and never miss a video. You can also follow us on social media for daily Star Trek updates, as well as visit our website for weekly articles and more announcements. For now, I've been Captain Jack, thanks for watching and we'll see you next time.